Hey everybody, thank you so much for choosing to watch my video today. If you don't already know, my name is Sarah and I'm a first grade teacher in Texas. And today I have a Q&A video for you because I got a lot of good questions and I'm excited to answer them. So I have them on my phone here. So the first question is, would you rather teach younger kids or older kids? I would rather teach younger kids. The highest I feel like I would be comfortable going would be 4th grade at this point. I've spent the most of my time as a teacher's aide in grades 1 through 4. And so maybe that's why I feel more comfortable, but I don't know. Another reason is because I'm just small and those 5th and 6th graders are so tall. Like, they would probably be like, where's the teacher? Question number 2. You mentioned that becoming a teacher took a little longer than originally planned. I'd love to hear about your journey in your Q&A or another video. I will be doing a teacher journey video because I think it'd be cool just to start at the beginning and just tell the whole story. So I will do that. Number 3, what has been the overall response to you being an older first-year teacher? I work as a pre-K teacher and I want to finish school so that I can get my certification and work in public school. But I'm 30 and I'm scared it's too late. Oh, no, it is not too late. I'm the kind of person who is so like, I don't care if you're 50, it's not too late. You know, like, I just think that if teaching is what's gonna make you love life, then there should be no question, you know, like, just if that's what you want to do, then you do it. And when I was going to school, I was one of the youngest in my classes. And so, yeah, there was a lot of people who already had, you know, teenagers as children, and I was just fresh out of high school. So, yeah, you're not too old. So, also, my mom went back to college when I was like 14 or 15 or something like that, and she became a nurse. So, it's never too late. All right, next question. Was teaching 1st grade your first choice? Would you leave next year if another job was offered? That's a hard question because I don't even know if I really had a first choice. It's hard to say because when I was going to school, I thought my first choice was always going to be 4th grade. And then my first year as an aide, I was strictly a 4th grade aide, and I loved it. But then the next 2 years, we kind of moved around as aides. We had like a schedule set out, and we would go in different grade levels. And so then I started realizing, like, whoa, I really like 3rd grade. I really like 1st grade. I really like 2nd grade. So let's see. Last year, we had a new teacher come to our school and I really like her a lot, and she was in 2nd grade, and so I talked to her a lot and I was in her class a lot, and I was also in another 2nd grade teacher's class a lot, and so I really liked both of those teachers and I really liked the atmosphere of 2nd grade. So my mindset for getting a job was kind of more on 2nd grade, but I've always thought 1st grade would be a really neat grade because I remember 1st grade more than any other of my like elementary school years. It's just because I had such a wonderful teacher in 1st grade. But when I was talking to administration and stuff throughout my, you know, process of finishing my iTeach program and all that, and talking about what I could potentially be teaching this year, they kept saying that they really are wanting somebody with a lot of experience for the 1st grade positions. So I just kind of put 1st grade out of my mind and started focusing on 2nd grade, and I was like, oh, I hope I get 2nd. But whenever they told me that I would have 1st grade, it kind of like just revealed to me that 1st grade really is what I wanted, because I was so excited that I was not expecting for my vice principal to tell me I was going to have 1st grade when she did. And so I wouldn't leave if I was offered another grade unless for some reason this year I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not happy. But I can't imagine me not being happy in 1st grade. I hope that makes sense. All of that. The next question says, I think I saw on your wish list that you work at a Title I school. I am also a first-year teacher and am working at a Title I school. Was this your first choice in type of school? Also, the school you're at now, was it the only school you interviewed at? Love your videos. So honestly, I had no idea what a Title I school even was whenever I started working at my school. And I worked at that school as an aide for 3 years, and I hadn't interviewed at any other schools. I just had like a super quick interview, and it was just really easy to get the job. It was like the week before school started that I got hired. And so there was a lot that I didn't know, and I started hearing people say Title I, and so I was like looking it up because I didn't know what it meant. And I fell in love with the school, I fell in love with the kids, and I feel like it's like a perfect fit for me there. And so, let's see, what was the rest of your question? Also, was the school you're at now the only school you interviewed at? I didn't interview anywhere else because they knew that I was going through my certification program, and at some point at the end of last year they told me that they do want to hire me, and so I didn't interview anywhere else. So I was kind of blessed because my interview ended up being kind of like an on-the-job interview, because I ended up being a long-term substitute in 3rd grade for 6 weeks at the end of last year, and they had told me that that's when they'll kind of watch me and see how I do. So I kind of got out of the like nerve-wracking like committee type interview, so I feel like I kind of cheated in a way, but oh well, I'm just glad I passed. Okay, next question. What are your favorite subjects to teach, and what curriculums will you be using for lessons? I've always loved math, always. So I think I haven't got to really teach it a lot. I've tutored when I was in high school, and then like in 3rd grade, my substituting, it was towards the end of the year, so I really only got to teach a few lessons, but I just love math, so I have a feeling that's going to be my favorite. It would definitely be my choice if I was going to be teaching an upper grade. But with the lower grades, I'm also like super excited about reading books to them, so I may love reading just as much as I love teaching math, so we'll see. And the curriculums that we're going to be using, we have Envision Math and McGraw-Hill Wonders, and then we have Saxon Phonics. So those are all the 3 curriculums, and we're supposed to kind of like blend Saxon Phonics with the Wonders curriculum somehow, and just like, I don't know, take certain parts of it and use it along with the Wonders, because Wonders has like some phonics built in. So I'm not sure how that's going to work yet, so I've still got a lot to figure out about that. All right, what was your impression when you first walked in the classroom? It was just like, is this really mine? Like, is this real? How is this already here? How am I already, after waiting so long, extra long to finally be a teacher, how is this suddenly my classroom? And it was also kind of interesting because I had been an aide for 3 years. I had been in that room quite a bit. So it's just, I don't know, it was a familiar room, so it was totally different than going to a new school and a new classroom. I kind of already have some memories in that room. So it was a good feeling, I will say that. Next question says, hey, I am an occupational therapist and work with kids in special education and on a 504 plan. What kind of training did you get in this area? Have you ever worked with an occupational therapist before? If so, what would you say is the most helpful way for an OT to effectively communicate their ideas for the student who needs extra help in the classroom? I'm glad that you asked me this question, because I do need to learn so much more about 504 plans and working with an occupational therapist, because I have not worked with one before. I don't know much about it, honestly, and so I feel like I'm sorry because I can't really answer this question very well, but I don't know how it works. I don't know if there's like different things for different schools, like if different schools do things differently, but I would just say let's see, what would you say is the most helpful way for an OT to effectively communicate their ideas for the student? I mean, I would think if I had a student who an occupational therapist was helping, I would like to just have like a conference time with them. I feel like at our school they might schedule those like for the teachers. I don't know how it all works. I feel like I sound so dumb, but thank you for asking, because I do need to learn more about that. But I would totally be open to listening to the occupational therapist, because I mean, they would obviously be the expert on that area. So I would not mind like meeting with them during like when my kids are going to specials or recess or something. Madison asks, during your college study and or past classroom experiences, what made you feel the most prepared for having your own class? So my best in-class experience would be anytime that I had to substitute. So I was an aide for 3 years, but I think during that time, the best experiences were when a teacher was like, hey, I've got to be gone tomorrow. Do you think you can sub for me? Because we kind of did that a lot as aides. So the days where I got to sub for an entire day, that was the best practice. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, like I could totally do this. Because other times, like when I'm just being an aide, we would have, our schedules were so chopped up, which, I liked that schedule as an aide. But as a future teacher, I always wished that I could get into a classroom in the morning and watch the entire day play out, so I could get a feel for like the routine and things like that. But with our schedules, like changing every 45 minutes to a different class, you couldn't see that. You couldn't see an entire day to see what the schedule was like and all of that. So anytime I had to sub, and then for sure, most definitely, whenever I long-term subbed for 6 weeks, that just made me like, it kind of like relieved me a little bit, because I was like done with school and I was so ready for this year when I would have my own class. So it kind of relieved me a little bit, but then by the time it was over, I was just like, I'm so raring to go to start working on my own classroom. So yes, definitely substituting. What grade did you want to teach? I kind of already answered that. I was really hoping for 1st through 3rd grade, but I also just really finally had decided that I don't want to have to deal with the standardized testing, at least on my first year. So I think it will be nice to always avoid that, but I don't know the future. So Amberlyn, oh, that's a cool name. She asked, what state do you teach in, and what is your dream grade to teach? I teach in Texas, and my dream grade is 1st grade. What kind of class management techniques will you use for your class? I want to use Class Dojo. It's interesting because whenever I was an aide one year and I was in 1st grade a lot that year, I was actually helping a teacher who was in my class that I have now, that same room. And she was awesome with Class Dojo, and she was the first teacher that I saw use it that really inspired me and made me realize, okay, I want to use Class Dojo. So I will do individual points that they can spend on Fridays at the treasure box, but they can either get something out of the treasure box, or they can buy like, a day of wearing no shoes and, stuff like that. That doesn't cost me money, but they still really like. And hopefully they will buy some of those too and not just want the treasure box, so we'll see. But I will also give whole class points, and the class will work as a team to try to get, I don't know, like 100 points or something. And there will be points along the way where they can spin a prize wheel, and it will have options. It'll be like read with the lights off using flashlights, or different things like that that the whole class would have as a prize. And then when they reach 100, they'll have a big thing, and so like a big prize, which will be like a party or a movie day, something like that. And on top of Class Dojo, one of the other 1st grade teachers told me that we are required to use a clip chart. She said that kindergarten through 2nd grade has to all use the same clip chart. So I'm gonna have to work that in with Class Dojo somehow. I personally do not like clip charts at all, but I am a new teacher, so maybe there's, you know, some really good reasons to use them that I don't know of. But just from what I've seen in classrooms and what I've experienced, I don't like them for several different reasons. But I am determined to make it work and to make it be a positive thing. And what I'm thinking is that dojo points will be my main system, but if a child just keeps losing points until they have like none left, maybe that would mean that their behavior has been bad enough that day that I need to make them clip down one. So it's going to be more major issues that get it clipped down. And then I think the reason that the school likes the clip charts is because they can earn it back. Like, they want kids to work to earn their spot back on green or whatever. But they could totally do that with dojo points as well, because if they lose their points, they can still be good and start earning points back. So anyway, so those are the two systems. I also have a few ideas for helping to just like encourage good behavior, like, you know, the little quiet critters that you can make with cute little pom-poms and googly eyes. And when the kids are working super quietly, they will come out and sit on the kids' desks and things like that. I think it'd be cute to have like a stuffed sloth or a stuffed llama or something that will come out and, you know, sit in the kid's lap who's working really nicely. And if they start to not work nicely, then the animal leaves because he likes, you know, quiet, and he likes when the kids are working nice, stuff like that. So I think all three of those systems working together will hopefully be good. And so I'm excited about using them, and I still need to go on online and go ahead and make a demo class dojo so I can familiarize myself with it even more. And Mariah said, I'm 10. You inspire me to be a teacher. What inspired you? Oh, that's so sweet. I'm glad. My first grade teacher did really inspire me. She was a big part because she was just amazing. She took us on imaginary field trips, and we made like costumes. Like, she had us bring white t-shirts that we like wrapped rubber bands around, and she dyed them and turned them into this shirt that we wore when we went on a fake field trip to Africa, where she had cooked some like African food, and it was like, I don't know, she did all kinds of stuff like that. This same teacher actually went to my parents' house, well, my house, and caught a zipper spider because like my brother told her that we had one at our house, and she called my mom to ask if she could come get it, and she let the spider build its web like in her classroom during her insect unit. So I mean, she was just amazing. But I was so young, so I think the main role that she played is that she made me love school. She made me love learning, and I've always been somebody who really likes to learn random trivia, random facts. I like to know a little bit about a lot of different things, and I'm like not an expert on anything. So I just think that she made me love learning, and I want to make kids love learning like she did. But she's definitely not the only one. I've had a lot of inspirations in my life, but she's probably the first one. Sarah said, were you a teacher's aide as you were finishing college, or did you go back to school for teaching? So I went to school, had to take a big break, which I'll talk about that in my teaching journey video, and then I decided to work as an aide. And so I was an aide for, I think, 1 year before going back to school, and then I finished school while working as an aide. She also asks, what is the one thing that you are most excited about? Oh man, that's so hard. I know Meet the Teacher Now, it's going to be like so much fun, just seeing the kids being all excited. But for day-to-day teaching, I'm really excited about reading books to the kids. I've gotten to do that some as a substitute, and I love to just be super expressive with it and to watch them just be glued to the book. So I really like that because they just think it's fun, and they don't realize how much they're learning. They just think it's fun, and it is fun. So I'm really looking forward to read alouds. I think that's going to be great. And of course, excited about seeing progress, and I'm really just excited to learn more and more. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm pretty much excited about everything, but you know, Okay, Hannah asked several questions. She said, I have several questions for your Q&A. What did your journey look like to get to become a teacher? I'll put that in an upcoming video. Have you already began lesson planning for the school year? Well, I started looking over the math curriculum, and I've looked over like the first 3 lessons, but then I got kind of distracted thinking, oh, okay, I've got to get math stations, because another first grade teacher who's new to our school this year, she was like, I would look at what the main like skill is that they're working on for the first unit and just find some stations to go with that. So I started, instead of looking more detailed at each lesson, I started kind of looking at the overview of the first unit. But I want to get back to just looking at individual lessons, because I want to be able to add some fun and add some engaging stuff to it, and I don't want to like get to that lesson the night before and realize, oh, I need like something random like popsicle sticks or something that I don't have for the next day to do this really cool idea that I want to add to it. So I do want to get like a week or 2 in, if possible, at least just skimming through the lesson and seeing what I need, you know, what I might need that's extra to go along. The curriculum's really easy, like really easy, it looks like, to add to, and it's really easy to follow. So it's pretty easy to quickly go through the lesson and get the gist of it. So that really is the most that I have done. I did go to an 8-hour-long curriculum training over our new Wonders curriculum, which is everything except for math. And I can access it online, but I haven't gotten my like hard copies yet, and I really would rather study using those books. So my plan is on Monday, this is Wednesday, but on Monday when I get to go in my classroom, because they let us come in early now, I don't have to wait till the 1st. I can go on July 29th. So yay, I just gained a week. But I'm hoping that the new curriculum is in our rooms now, and if it is, I will definitely bring that home and be really looking through that. On that topic, lesson planning, I mean, we're supposed to follow that curriculum pretty strictly, so the lesson planning in my mind is going to be more of, how can I make this even more engaging? How can I take this and put some Sarah into it? You know, how can I take this and make it mine and make it fun for my class? So that's kind of what I'm thinking that the lesson planning is going to be like. Also, there's still just so much I don't know about, like, a couple of our first grade teachers keep mentioning planning as a team, and so, you know, I don't know, like, if they're going to be planning some parts of it and I'm going to be planning other parts, because they've mentioned like that. Like, one of our new teachers, she came from a different district, and she said that at that district she planned all of the math for the whole grade level. I would rather just plan on my own, like, as far as, you know, like, I would feel uncomfortable with somebody else planning all of the math and then me just having to take it, because I don't know, I just want to put my heart into it, you know? But again, I'm very new, and I do know it's important to work as a team, and so I'm not like dogging teams at all. I'm just excited about figuring out what to do for my class. Here's my husband. Hola. Okay, so she also said, what are you most excited for as a teacher, and what are you most nervous about? So I already talked kind of about what I'm excited for, but then what I'm the most nervous about is observations. I'm so good at being myself around kids, but in front of adults I just like get a little more bashful. But I'm hoping to just pretend. I've heard a lot of people say, just pretend they're not in the room. You just do it exactly how you always do it. So I know that if I can do that, that's when I will be at my best, because I just think when you put your personality into what you're doing and your heart into what you're doing and you're just yourself, that things will work out better. So I'm hoping to just like see them come in and just like pretend they're not there, but I know that's going to be hard when you have to have like pre-evaluation meetings and all of this. But yeah, I really think that's the only thing I'm nervous about. or the most nervous about. I'm sorry that the zoom has been changing. When I was setting up my tripod, I kept wondering why I was having so much trouble, but it was zoomed in and I didn't know. And then it like, the camera turned itself off already once, and so whenever I hit record again, it was zoomed out. And so I'm probably not looking like I was earlier. Hannah also asked, do you have any specific plans or ideas for how you want to handle behavior in your classroom? So I talked about that already, but I just remembered something else. The first grade teacher that did class dojo that I really liked, she also did something else I really liked, and she had a 10 frame on her board, and she would give herself a point if she looks up and the whole class is just having trouble doing what they're supposed to. But if she notices the kids did something all right, like she gave whole class points for whole class good behavior, and then she gave herself points for if the whole class was just rowdy. So I really like that. She says it's like one of her favorite things to do for managing behavior. So since my class is Miller's Happy Class, and since I'm going to be doing dojo points also, I could do what she did, but I also thought it might be kind of cute to have like smiley faces in the 10 frame, and I can either make them to where I flip them over and they're a sad face if, you know, they lost a point, or I could just have a 10 frame and fill it up with sad faces, and then if it gets all filled, they have to like walk at recess or something like that. I haven't figured out yet which way I want to do it. All right, next question. Do you have any kids, and if so, how many? Or if you don't have kids, how many would you like to have? I do not have any kids. I would say that we would like 2 or 3. That's what we've both kind of decided. And oh, I thought my husband was coming out. I have had 2 miscarriages. So we are currently not preventing kids because we are ready for kids at any time. And I've talked to my doctor, and if I have a 3rd miscarriage, we're supposed to start trying to figure out if there's any reason why that's happening. But so far she said that 2 is not abnormal, so we will see. Hopefully we will have a baby sometime soon, because I've had the baby fever for years. I mean, like years. Baby dolls were always my favorite toy growing up too. I love babies. What is your favorite part of your classroom? It's kind of hard right now to know because it's so unfinished, but I really love the rug. I like that. I'm glad I decided to go with something that looks more homey and less schooly. I never thought I would want like one of the primary colored rugs. I want it to have a homey feel, and I feel like that rug really helps a lot. And I know I'm gonna love the brick when it gets hung. So I'm thinking I'm gonna use Gorilla Tape. Some of you guys suggested it, and then some people from my school suggested it. And so it's kind of expensive, but I think it'll be worth it if I can keep that brick up on that wall for years. So it's like double-sided tape that can hold up to 30 pounds or something, but they have like different strengths. So I really like those 2 things a lot. And I think that this answer will change, you know, once my room is set up. If my library turns out as cozy as I'm hoping it does eventually, then I think the libraries are really going to be a favorite part. So yeah, we'll see. Oh, I also like my student work board. I really like that a lot. It's colorful, and I'm just so glad it turned out like I was hoping. My next question is similar, except it says, what is your favorite item in your classroom and why? So the other one was, what is your favorite part? So I'll try to think of just things that I have. The first thing that popped in my head was those 4 game buzzers that I got from my Amazon wish list. I keep thinking about those, and I just think it'd be so fun to do, like, you know how like at prom and stuff they have those shiny gold, or you can get them in any colors, but it's like streamers that hang in the background. Like you can make like a photo booth out of them, but they're super shiny. I wish I knew the correct term, but I think it'd be cute to like have one of those that I pull out and tape up on my whiteboard, and then like have a desk or table with the 4 buzzers, and then have like a fake inflatable microphone or something, or one of those like Bluetooth karaoke microphones, to be like the host or the announcer and do like a game show sight word review, and like, you know, flash sight words, and the first kid to buzz in gets to read it. I just think that'd be cool to turn on some music. I bet I'll be able to use those buzzers in so many ways. So I really do like that item. And I'm just gonna stick with that, because if I think for a few seconds more, I'm sure I will just have other favorites. The next question says, when did you start to collect or buy all of your classroom supplies? I probably started like a year and a half to 2 years ago, whenever I could kind of see that the end was near with my schooling and was getting more excited, you know, and realizing like, whoa, like it'll kind of be here before too long. But I didn't get a whole lot, and I probably should have gotten some more than I have. I was thinking, well, I just don't know what grade level I will have, but now I see that there's a ton of stuff that I could have gotten. So I would say just go for it. If you know that you're gonna want like a tower of drawers, then go ahead and get it. If you know you're gonna want a lot of Astro Brights paper, I mean, that's something that it doesn't matter what grade level you have. I would just start getting what you want. A lot of people say, wait, no, just wait and see. And you can wait to see for some things, like your classroom might have math manipulatives and stuff like that in there. But if you want like extra stuff, like, you know, the fun stuff or stuff that's more, how am I trying to say it? Like, I mean, not everybody wants to use Astro Brights paper. Not everybody wants to spend their money on that. But if you know you're going to want to, then go ahead and stock up on that stuff.
And then we can get some ice cream.
Oh, Dakota said we're going to go get some ice cream. So there's a really good place here that we found some homemade ice cream. Oh, it's good. Okay, so Karen says, my question for you is if you sing or play an instrument. Yes, me and my husband both sing in church. I was a preacher's kid, and so I've sang in church since I was really little. And then I also play the piano. Next question. Good morning. I was wondering what your discipline plan is for your first group of first graders. And I already kind of went over that. As far as I know, so far, I may come up with some other things, but Class Dojo and the clip chart and then the 10 frame on the board. And I like the 10 frame because I can use it as a teaching tool also, and ask them like, well, if you have 3 smileys or 3 sad faces, how many more do you have to get before you guys have to miss recess or whatever? All right, the next question. Estella asked, I was wondering what your discipline plan is for your first group of first graders. So I've already talked about Class Dojo, the clip chart, and the 10 frame. And so really that's all I've thought of so far. If there's anything else that I need to think of, please leave it down below, because I need all the help I can get. Okay, Brandon said, what are you most excited for about the upcoming school year? I also kind of talked about this a little bit. Well, maybe it was more for the classroom, but I am really excited about getting to know the new first grade teachers and the other teachers in the school. I really like one of the new first grade teachers that I've been talking to a lot so far, and so I'm excited about getting to know her more. And I'm just excited about my YouTube channel. Like, I really am. I'm excited about sharing stuff and learning even more from you guys, and I'm excited about just learning in general. I mean, people say that your first year of teaching is like building an airplane while flying it, so I'm just hoping that I learn a whole lot this year, and I just really want to embrace it and enjoy every part of it. Jessica asked, I know this will be your first year, but what has your teaching and education journey been so far leading up to now? I'm going to answer that in my teaching journey video. But she also asked, what or who inspired you to be a teacher? I did mention my first grade teacher earlier, but I don't know. I think I've just always liked learning, and I don't know, I think it's just my personality. I've always liked learning, but I had parents who were very encouraging. I've had a lot of people in my life who were very encouraging, but I don't know. I've just kind of been self-motivated, honestly. Oh, but also it's just I've always loved kids. And so I've loved learning and I've loved kids, and I've just throughout my life I've just kind of realized I'm good with kids. I'm good at understanding them at different age levels, and I'm just good at getting along with them. And so I think there was just a lot of factors that have inspired me and made me realize that I need to be a teacher. The last question is another of the same. It says, I'd love to know what you're most excited about and what you're most nervous about for your first year. And so that's just a hard question. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm nervous about observations. Oh, I am kind of nervous about small groups, working with the small groups. But I think it's just because I've never sat and watched it being done, and I'm just not sure if everything that I need for that will be in our curriculums. But I do know that our math curriculum and our Wonders curriculum do break up, like it does give you ideas for below level, on level, and advanced, students. And it seems very detailed, but you never know if those are going to really be exactly what your students need. So I'm a little nervous about that because I didn't student teach. So I have never really seen it. So I am nervous about small groups. And then what am I most excited for? Read alouds, just learning how to be a better teacher. I really want to learn technology and be really comfortable with technology, and pretty much excited about everything. So that was the last question. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but if you stuck it out to the end, thank you so much, and I will see you next time.